Hey everyone, just a thought. All things work for good. All things work for good. That's the title today. Romans 8:28 and 29 tells us this. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate, to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Romans 8:28 and 29, as we look at these verses we just read, these verses are a promise to those who have put their trust in Christ for their salvation. That is to say, to the Christian, as we call it, the Christian, the believer, those who are trusting in Christ. It means that God works for the good of those who love him and are called to his purpose. The verse does not mean that all things are good or that all things work together for the good of all people. Instead, it's about God's work, God's glory, and our ultimate good. The verse calls people to change their perspective on their circumstances and to align themselves with God's purpose. It teaches that God is involved in every aspect of life and that the people can experience his blessings and development by aligning themselves with his purpose. My friend, these verses here are teaching us that when you and I begin to do the will of God, that is to say, we align ourselves with God, we get into the center of his will. God begins to work things, and when situations come up in our lives, he will work them out to build us up and conform us to his image. As we see in verse 29, that he predestined us to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Just a thought.